Our speaker number 2 is Alissa VanDeman, and she has been a member of the Youngest and Funnest Carrollwood Toastmasters for 2 years. The past 6 months, she served as the Vice President of Membership and is speaking today about her experience in an organization as a volunteer. The title of her speech is "You Never Know What You're Gonna Get." Alissa VanDeman.
You never know what you're gonna get. Do you all remember Forrest Gump? You have a box of chocolates and you don't know what's in there. An assorted truffles, perhaps? It is a delight to see what is in the middle when you take a bite into that chocolate. Volunteering as a leader can be a similar experience. Coming today as a guest, as Annie did, and Lane, you don't walk into the room, join the Zoom. What am I gonna get? What's gonna happen? It can be scary. It can be surprising. It could also be satisfying. So my experience as the VP of membership has been all three. It's been scary, it's been surprising, and it's been satisfying. Let's address the scariness first. What is unknown can be scary. Taking on a role that you're not quite sure you will be doing, you don't know all the parts of it, can be scary. Will I be good at it? Will people like the way I do it? Fear can keep us from a lot of things, but don't let it stop you. According to the Chapman University Survey of American Fears, some of the top 100 fears in America are zombies, strangers, public speaking, needles, murder hornets, ghosts, clowns, and being caught in embarrassing situations on Zoom or a video conferencing. Now, and technology that a person doesn't understand. Well, in Toastmasters, we may not experience zombies or murder hornets or ghosts, but we pretty much are guaranteed to meet strangers, but they'll become friends. Or public speaking, but we'll learn to gain confidence. I have experienced the occasional clown. However, they actually turn out to be funny and not so scary. I've even encountered technology that I didn't know how to use, but I've learned to understand. So taking on this role as the VP of membership, it was scary at first, but as I walked through it, it wasn't so scary after all. So point 1, volunteering as a leader can be scary, but it can also be surprising. Surprising, just like a Jack in the Box. You happily turn the crank, listening to the music, and then pop, all of a sudden there's a surprise. Well, serving in this role, I learned so much more about Toastmasters. Did you know that on Toastmasters.org website, there is a dashboard showing the progress of each chapter and how we compare to other chapters? You may have heard the president speak about, we want to be a presidential club. I didn't really understand that until I was in this role and went to that dashboard and saw more of what that meant. In my efforts to share the role and responsibilities of this position with my successor, I learned even more about the role, finding additional resources online I could have been utilizing the whole 6 months. I mean, what a surprise was that? So leading as a volunteer can be scary. It can be surprising. It can also be satisfying. You know, it is very satisfying to know that you've helped someone or benefited from an experience you shared. And this was my experience being the VP of membership. Every time I reached out to someone or talked to someone about Toastmasters or answered their questions, I experienced the satisfaction of helping them move closer to their own goals. Talking about Toastmasters with guests and prospect members helped me realize how much I had actually learned over the past 2 years on my own Toastmaster journey. It was so satisfying to share what I had learned and how I had grown in Toastmasters with others, kind of planting the seeds within them of what they could experience, what they could experience and learn, and how they could grow as well in their own leadership journey. So volunteering as a leader is a learning experience for everyone. It is scary, it is surprising, however, it's very satisfying. So in conclusion, see yourself in one of the officer roles. It is for everyone. Try something new. You've been trying something new every day since the day you were born. I mean, that first day, you tried breathing for the first time. You tried crying for the first time, and that hasn't stopped any day since then. So I encourage you to step out and embrace the unknown. I encourage each of you to review the end of the pathway that you're currently on. Go to the level 5, and you may find that in your level 5 project, you have to volunteer for 6 months, just like I found out. Find out now before you get there so that you can be volunteering while you're working along your path. Start talking to officers now about the possibility of volunteering for a position 6 months from now. So back to that box of chocolates. Just in case you didn't know, there's a cheat. Typically, if you turn that box over, there is a guide at the bottom that tells you what's inside each of those chocolates. So it's not a complete unknown. And guess what? Toastmasters has a guide as well. You can visit the Carrollwood Toastmasters website. There is an informational document entitled Carrollwood Toastmasters Officer Guide. You can read about every single officer role on that guide and help any member understand what each officer role entails. So happy learning, happy volunteering. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Alissa, you did an excellent job delivering your speech. There's no doubt about that. You always bring an aspect of engagement and enthusiasm to whatever you do, whether it's your table topics or your speech. I absolutely loved the way you started off your speech by shedding light on the title again, reinforcing what you wanted to keep centric to your speech, which was, you never know what you're going to get. You encaptured the lesson of life in that very short sentence. All we can expect is unexpected events in life. And also, I loved how you draw a parallel between the chocolate box to the volunteering experience as the VPM at Toastmasters. I loved how you said that when you bite into a chocolate, you never know what you're going to get in the center unless you look at the back, which has the ingredients and of course a description of each truffle. I truly enjoyed that dynamic symbolism that you use between your volunteering experience and the chocolate box. You actually vicariously led us through biting into a chocolate, which was also fun. One thing I would recommend you shed more light on is the reference that you had with the Forrest Gump, the reference that you had to the movie and how that tied into the transition into the chocolate box symbolism that you used. I think I personally felt a bit lost as how you transitioned from Forrest Gump to the chocolate box. But again, using that symbolism was very creative. I truly enjoyed the vocal variety that you brought with the gestures and also reenacting or enacting the Jack in the Box by giving that little voice that demonstrated your vocal variety. I think another thing I personally had trouble with when I was using Zoom to deliver my speeches was, again, your hand gestures. At times they were visible, but at other times they just felt like they weren't captured by the screen. And your hands do speak a lot, or they symbolize a lot about your true message and the connotation that you're bringing to your words. Another thing that you brought focus to throughout your speech was how you referenced your volunteering experience to be scary, satisfying, intimidating. Actually, you said scary, intimidating, but truly fulfilling and satisfying. And that was very important because it challenged each and every person in this room to take upon a volunteering position or to take upon a leadership position, because it can seem initially intimidating, but it's going to be fulfilling at the end. And another thing I would recommend for you to do is to draw into a particular experience that you had throughout the course of serving as your as the VPM, working with a particular member, and how you use the skills that you emphasize so much on throughout your speech, how you use those to guide a prospective member, and how those skills helped you in turn. That's all I have for you, and I truly enjoyed your speech. Great job.